Hey, what's up? I just watched your video on our blacks stealing other people's history, and I really enjoyed it. 5 stars. It's touched on a lot of issues, and it made me think about some stuff that I hadn't thought about before. My take on it is, unfortunately, people will always believe what they have been taught in most circumstances. Unless you can completely open your mind up to anything or everything, there will always be people of any colour, race or religion that believe that they're right. You have to be open-minded about this stuff. It's common sense that different cultures and civilizations would have interacted with each other over time. This is how we learn new things. That is common sense in itself, that you have to learn from other people for civilization to move forward. Even what we're doing now on YouTube, discussing things, talking about things, we're learning stuff what we could pass on to our children and, make a difference. And we might not think that it does make a difference, and we're just wasting time talking, but I don't know, in the future, who is to say that they won't, in 100 years time, be looking back through video archives of stuff and using us as examples, and be laughing at some of the stuff that we thought and we talked about back then. Can you imagine if the technology existed when people were talking about the earth being flat and whatnot? We would laugh at them now. We can't believe that at one time that we believed the earth was flat. So many good points in there. One of the things that I think people take for granted is things like what we use every day. For example, telephones. It's widely regarded that Alexander Graham Bell invented it. Now, I ain't got any reason to believe that he didn't invent it. Why would I? I don't know. It says that he invented it. Fine. But inventing something isn't the main thing. You need to invent stuff and actually then share that information with people. Otherwise it is no good. For example, with a telephone, and using that as an example, he could have invented it, and if he hadn't have shared it with the world and we actually started using it and applying it to everyday life, it wouldn't have meant anything. You can invent something any day of the week, unless people share and learn from it, it's going to make no difference whatsoever. One side note to that, I'm going to go off on a little ramble. Alexander Graham Bell, I don't know if you've heard before, actually invented the telephone, not because he had plans of becoming a massive telecommunications billionaire. That wasn't the reason that he did it. His mother and wife, I believe it was, were deaf, and he was doing research into trying to get them to hear, and one of the byproducts of it was the telephone. Anyway, that's totally off the subject, but yeah. See, we learn from stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. Then we move on to other things like electricity, for example. Now, electricity, who invented electricity? I'm not 100% sure on that, but I heard before that people have known about electricity for probably about 600 years BC. We knew that charge was built up if you rubbed, I think it's like, well, it's amber together, that it built up a magnetic charge, or some charge. I shouldn't say magnetic. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. But my point is, it's not until over the years that more research was done and we discovered and applied it to everyday use as we use it now. Who's to say in another 1,000 years that electricity will be used in a totally different way? One thing I heard about electricity, I think I've got it here actually, is the term electricity actually comes from, let me see if I can find it here. Sorry, bear with me. It actually comes from the Greek word for amber. I never knew that, because that's what, you know, we don't even think the term Egypt is a Euro centric word. Well, it comes from Greek. Actually, that isn't what Egypt would normally have been called. So you've got, you know, you make a lot of valid points. That's sort of part of my take on it. It's such a big subject. You could go on and on for hours on it, but keep making the videos. I'm gonna subscribe. Yeah, thanks a lot.